Wow, I can't believe it. We've just beaten Ukraine 14-0 to get through to the semi-finals of the European Championships. What an absolute game that was. I can't believe how good all our players were. I mean, Sancho comes off the bench in the 95th minute and scores 6 goals. I mean, absolutely incredible from him. I mean, yeah, I am recording this before the game actually kicks off, but it worked last time against Germany, so I'm trying the luck again. Hello and welcome back to On The Rocks. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to today's episode as we take on Hamilton and Celtic in the Scottish Premiership right at the end of January in the January transfer window. Today we're hopefully going to be signing a left back and a right winger. First things first though, make sure you do drop a like on today's video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and obviously leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. The first thing we're going to do in today's episode is talk about what's happened in between episodes, and it's not been brilliant, to be honest with you. You were last here for the Inverness 1-0 win and the 2-0 loss to AC Milan, although we still got through our group, which was fantastic. And actually, it started off well with a 3-1 win against Motherwell and a 5-1 win against Kilmarnock, with Jan Cavalcanti scoring 4 goals in that game from an attacking midfielder position. We'll talk more about formations in a minute. We then, though, had 2 rather annoying draws, a 2-2 with Hibs and then a 1-1 with Rangers. I mean, Shaban scored goals in all those games, which is fantastic, and got 2 in a 2-0 win against St Mirren. But, you know, we don't need to draw games. We shouldn't be drawing games. And couple that with the loss to Celtic earlier on in December, it wasn't a great month for us. We then had winter break, won all our friendlies fairly comfortably, which is very nice. Then beat Motherwell 3-0 in the Scottish Cup 4th round, with Mike Taggart getting 2 goals in that game, before battering St Johnstone 5-0, Cavalcanti with 2 and Shaban with 3, before losing rather embarrassingly 2-1 to Livingston. This was a really frustrating game for us. I can't believe we've lost this one. 29 shots we had to their 7. 4 on target for them, 2 of them in the back of the net. We have 13 on target, only score 1. Cavalcanti also missed a penalty in that game, but it wouldn't have changed anything really. We've got a draw otherwise rather than a win, so rather frustrating that one against Livingston. Although I do love Livingston's stadium, the Tony Macaroni Stadium, or Tony Macaroni Arena. Like, I've googled this. Tony Macaroni is like a Bella Italia. It's like an Italian chain restaurant in Scotland. But Tony Macaroni just sounds really funny. What all of that means, though, is that we actually are top of the Scottish Premiership on the grounds that Rangers' form has been worse than ours. They cannot buy a win at the moment. They just keep drawing and losing games. They lost 5-0 to Celtic. They lost to Ross County in the Scottish Cup 4th round as well. They keep drawing games too. So whilst we've been poor, Rangers have been more poor, which means we do go ahead of them in the table, albeit only on goals scored, both on 34 points, with Celtic just behind us on 51 points. Did I say 34? I meant 54. Also, what you kind of love but also hate to see, a former player of ours, Kevin Hanratty, currently 3rd in the top scorers, where none of our players are anywhere. Actually, Shaban and Cavalcanti are 4th and 5th, to be fair, but Kevin Hanratty is ahead of both of them for a Kilmarnock team currently in the relegation zone. I mean, they've scored 33 goals in the league and Hanratty's got 17 of them. So, I mean, it's good to see Kevin Hanratty doing well since leaving the club, and actually has done phenomenally well since leaving the club. Couldn't really score goals for us, which is frustrating, but everywhere else he's been, Falkirk and Kilmarnock, he bags the goals. Anyway, enough talk about that. Let's get into today's transfers. It's currently the 25th of January, so not long until the end of the transfer window. And right now, I've not put any bids in for any players because honestly, I'm still deciding who to sign. Following the departure of Kevin Nisbet, as you can see up here, to Hull for £10 million, we now have £30 million to be spending on players, as you can see here in the transfer budget, and a lot of money in the wage budget as well, although obviously I'm happy to spend all the transfer budget, maybe not quite all of the wage budget though. So I've got a short list of transfer targets. There's more than just right wingers and left backs in here. So what we'll do is quickly sort it by left backs, please. We'll look at the left backs first, and these are the 5 players that I am contemplating signing. Player that I want the most is this guy right at the top from Portugal, Felipe Passos. He is a wonderkid. He is a wing-back. He's got 10 crossing and 14 dribbling. Of course, we can improve all of that. His physicals are fantastic. His mentals are really impressive for a 19-year-old. The issue is, if we look at his contract, release fee clause is £45 million, which we don't have. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think they're going to sell him for anything less than that. So we'll make an offer of, I mean, we've got £30 million to spend total, but ideally we want 2 players with that. So let's put 15 on the table, make an offer, and let them reject it, basically. We know Maxi Decampo is a really good left back as well. The issue is he is a mercenary and it's not a great personality. We could tutor that out of him. He's also not very good at crossing and dribbling, but everything else is really, really solid, particularly the physicals. The mentals are really solid too, and actually defensively his marking and tackling are really solid. So he would be a very good player to bring in if we could tutor him well. The thing is, he's 20 years old now. He might not actually get much better than this. Maybe a little bit, but we're not going to see double-digit crossing and dribbling, I don't think. And that holds me back a little bit. He also didn't want to join us in summer. We did actually get a contract to him. And apparently now he does want to sign for us. He's more interested in it. They'd want somewhere between 4.8 and 11.25 million to make a deal possible. This suggests he does want to talk to us this time. He didn't want to talk to us in summer. He's wanted currently by Norwich. And, I mean, Norwich, are they any good? They are 9th in the Premier. They must be pretty decent then. They can't be too bad. So let's do it. Let's just put the bid in of that 4. Let's go 5 million and see what they say. The next couple players I do like, but I'm not as keen on. Labrie Hatcham from Stade Rennais. A very good left back. Really good physicals. Really good crossing and dribbling. Mentals are decent too. I'm pretty happy with this guy. I think he looks pretty decent. Not quite got the same potential, and his personality is a realist, which isn't fantastic. However, he will be available to us for a high price, which is frustrating. So we're going to put a bid in of, let's go 9 million. Same sort of thing with the next guy, Florian Muller from Schalke. Really solid, but there's nothing stand out about him. He's more like across the board pretty decent. Can play in multiple positions as well, which is quite handy for us if we need to rotate things around a little bit. The issue with him, he's on 50 grand a week right now at Schalke. I don't really want to pay a player more than 50 grand a week. So we'll put a bid of 7.5 million down, but again, we'll have this rejected, I'm sure. And then I think probably the most likely player we'll end up getting out of all of these is this guy, Fabian Nürnberger from Hamburg. He is 27, so actually a lot older than the other guys, but he is very solid across the board. Again, nothing standout, but can play multiple positions fairly well. Would be a solid addition to the team, maybe a good tutor as well. He'd come in and just do a job for us. He wouldn't progress at all. He'd just come in as he is and do a job. He has a release fee clause to clubs in the Champions League of 7.5 million. So I think what we need to do is just put 7.5 million on the table. He's valued at 10 to be fair. So 7.5 million on the table, get that accepted, and he can be our backup option. In terms of right wingers then, we need to bring in a right winger also, and we've got a couple guys here that I'm pretty interested in. We'll start off again at the top, I guess, Pablo Garcia. He looks very, very good. He's got a very strong left foot, so he's an inverted winger / inside forward. He's a wonderkid, got a resolute personality, which is fantastic. I love this guy. I think he could be fantastic. Only 20, 5-star potential. Might not reach the potential we'll be seeing there. He might get to 4-star maybe or something like that. But he does look better than Ben Knight already, albeit the long shots and the finishing are a little bit low. Thing is though, he will cost a lot of money. Is the release fee clause of £64 million in there? I doubt we're going to get him for anything less than that, but let's pop 10 million on the table and see what they say. Ignacio is a right winger as well, currently at Real Sociedad, who is asking to leave the club. He wants to go to a bigger club, and what's big given Aberdeen? Nothing. He's not quite as good as the previous, he's more physical than the previous player, whereas technicals and mentals aren't quite so good. However, he's only 19, can get better. He's more of a winger because he's got a right foot and a left foot, but I'm sure we can train that up to be an inverted winger at some point. He wants to leave, so let's make an offer of, again, 10 million. I would be quite happy to bring Mark Shaw into the club. Now, I do think potential's lying here a little bit. He's 22, 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. I don't think he's going to reach that given he's 22 already, but does look like a pretty solid player, albeit pace is quite low. So I'm not as keen on Mark Shaw, but let's put a bid in of 10 mil. And then finally, this chap down here, I can't really say his name properly, Shevket Koshul, I think is maybe how you say it, because the accent on the S and the C is like a sh and a ch sound, I think, if I know my Turkish right, which I probably don't. But again, he just looks he looks alright. He's nothing special, but as a backup player at least, he could be pretty decent maybe. So I think we put a £7.5 million bid in. So those are all of the players that I'm pretty keen on. Let's go and press continue now and see loads of rejection emails come through. Apart from the one, we triggered the release fee clause. So that one has been accepted, as you can see, 7.5 million. He wants to be an important player. I think we offer him a contract. We can always cancel it down the line as well. But if we compare him with, for example, Pavlik, you can actually see that Pavlik might actually be a better player. Maybe I should have checked that beforehand. Maybe I'm doing Pavlik a bit dirty. Maybe he's a lot better than I give him credit for. He's not quite so fast, actually, but everything else looks pretty solid. It's only technicals and speed that this guy... In fact, no, I'm not signing that player. He's not going to come in to do a better job than Pavlik. I'm turning that down. I love that. The one transfer we are guaranteed to get accepted, I've then decided that it's a bad idea and I'm turning it down. Not ideal, maybe. And here we go. Here are all the rejections. So £5 million for Maxi Decampo, rejected. £9 million for Hatcham, rejected. 7.5 for Muller, rejected. 10 million for Garcia, rejected. 10 million for Ignacio, rejected. 10 million for Mark Short, rejected. 10 million pound for Koschultz, rejected. 15 million for Felipe Passos, rejected. And I mean, at least we've made some players worry, but all rejected. So back to the drawing board. The player that I want the most out of all of this is Pablo Garcia. On the right wing at least. So transfer, make an offer. We're going to just keep pushing this one up and see how high it goes. But this might be tricky given that he's in Spain. And what is his release fee clause actually, interestingly? 64. Oh, 64. We did look at that one before. What was Ignacio's then? Ignacio's was 87. Okay. And then in terms of left backs, it's Felipe Passos that I really want out of all of these players. So transfer, make an offer. 20. I mean, we might have to start doing installments at some point for these guys. But of course, they have been rejected as well, which is not great. So we're going to do more deals. This guy has a £47 million release or £45 million release fee clause. Okay, you can only trigger that if you put £45 million on upfront, which we don't have the money for right now. Now, how good is he? If we compare him again with Pavlik, for example, he is a lot clearly better than Pavlik and is going to improve a lot more than Pavlik will do as well. So this guy does look really good, Felipe Passos. I'm a big fan of him. He will be worth the money, maybe like 2 or 3 years down the line when he develops a little bit more. What I might do is say 20 million up front and then installments of 10 over 3 years. Suggest. They're still not listening to that. 20 million? 40 million total? Oh, see, this is where I start to think I'm going a bit mental and this doesn't quite seem right. We'll do the same with Pablo Garcia. 15 now and then 3 installments of 15. Suggest. And they're rejecting that. Thing is, we only got 30, haven't we? How about 10 and 30? Make the offer. This is where things will start to get silly. But if we want to be signing the very best young players in the world, we have to start splashing the cash a bit more. And it will hinder us in future transfer windows when we don't have quite so much money to spend, but oh, I don't know. Anyway, this is the team for the first game in today's episode against Hamilton. And as you can see, we are transitioning slowly to a 4-2-3-1 tiki-taka, essentially. I think we showed this tactic off a couple episodes ago. However, one of the big changes that I am making right now is retraining Jan Cavalcanti as an attacking midfielder because he does have all of the attributes for it. If we go to his development training, currently training him as a shadow striker because he does, a lot of people in the comment section were saying that this guy could be a very good attacking midfielder and he does actually have all of the attributes for it. So we are retraining him as a shadow striker, but not just Jan Cavalcanti, also Thad McRae, who also, if we look at his training development, you can see also has all the attributes, maybe apart from passing, but we're trying to get that up a little bit as well. He's got all of the attributes to be a very good attacking midfielder. So retraining these two guys so they have a bit more of a purpose if we have to drop from a 2-striker system. But as you can see, the rest of the lineup is very similar to what you'd expect. Fuentauba starting as the goalkeeper with Pavlik, Admilson, Caio Henrique and Torres in the back line. Ferguson and Tamat-Lumpa just in front with La Cruz, Cavalcanti and Knight in the attacking midfield. In behind Shaban, who's now got 19 goals to his name this season. So the reason we are switching formations up a little bit is because because I was not convinced the traditional 4-4-2 that we had been using was really working anymore. It just wasn't quite getting the goals that it used to get. Maybe the two strikers weren't quite working together well enough. I don't really know, but we thought we'd switch things up a little bit in a trial, and we are scoring more goals like this. We are also conceding more goals, as you may have noticed from in between episodes. The results not been quite so great because we do concede a couple more, but Ben Knight, he scores a goal, it's disallowed, unfortunately. Gets the goal there, but it's frustrating that. But we are scoring more. We are scoring more like this, and it's frustrating because Shaban, who's slightly offside there and doesn't really get involved too much, I don't think. Free kick for us. Tamat puts it into the middle, and Caio Henrique heads it down. It might go down as an own goal. It goes down as an own goal. I think it hit the post and then hit the back of Austin in goal before going in the back of the net. This replay will show us a bit better. That is exactly what happened. Caio Henrique's header hits the post, bounces off the back of the keeper, goes in for an own goal, but it's 1-0 to us as we stay top of the table as things stand. Celtic and Rangers also winning their games as it stands right now, so no change there in our points against those guys. Hopefully, we score more goals than Rangers do today. Obviously, if Rangers score a couple more goals than us, they will go top of the table on goal difference, so very, very tight at the top. Although Shaban has just scored a very lovely goal there. He just let it drop for him nicely. The keeper goes down way too early, and Shaban gets his goal for today. So half-time, a pretty decent first half there. I know you're playing well, but you're capable of even better. That's what I'm trying to say. Free kick for us on the very edge of the area. Shaban looks to take this one. Can he put it top bins? No, he can't. Ben Knight having a bit of a poor game out there on a 6.3 for some reason. Let's get him off the pitch and bring on Robert Didau instead. Ben Knight is dropping recently. He's just not been as good as he normally is. And I've taken the wrong player off there, I think. I took Lewis Ferguson off. Undo. Ben Knight for Robert Didau. On you come instead. Juan Torres not with a great game either. Brian Portier will come on for you at right back. And then let's make one more change, because we may as well make one more change. Who's going to come on the pitch then instead? Mike Taggart, on you come for Caio Henrique, who's got a yellow card. Tam McLumper on the ball, plays it into his midfield partner, Lewis Ferguson, who gets it out to Ben Knight. So the substitutions haven't been made just yet, as I couldn't talk them for some reason. I still can't for some reason. Words are not escaping my mouth very easily, but that is a superb goal from Lewis Ferguson. Oh, what a finish from him there, right from the edge of the box. This one deserves to be seen again. La Cruz tackled. Pavlik just plays it comfortably into La Cruz. Back to Ferguson, who just touches, turns, shoots, and you don't get much more top corner than that. And can we make it 4 as Ferguson with 2 shots there, both of them blocked, unfortunately for him. But Tamat Lumper out to Portier, who's got so much space to find a ball into the middle and somehow messes it up completely. Does get it to Tamat Lumper though, who puts it across to Pavlik. Pavlik now with a chance to put a cross into Ferguson. Ferguson into Robert Didau, cleared. How many chances are we going to get here? Apparently no more, because that is the end of the highlights. Also, I'm very impressed as well. I did say we concede more goals with this formation, but we've limited Hamilton to just a single shot today, which I think is very impressive. As Cavalcanti now, Ferguson hits the post. No one can get there quick enough. It goes out for a corner in the end. I think that went out for a goal kick, but we'll take the corner as McLumper puts it into the middle. A bit of lag on the screen, and it results in nothing. So as the clock ticks down, we've won 3-0, Rangers win 3-0, and Celtic all win 3-0 as well. So basically nothing in the table changes at all. But of course, in 2 days' time, we do have a game against Celtic. So let's rest everyone for this one. Training, rest, 1 day, and see how it goes. Hopefully, we will get some answers for those transfers within this time frame as well. And those answers are rejections, which really isn't great. We can't offer more in terms of upfront fees right now. But with 30 million for those two, we can't offer more in upfront fees. It's got to be down the line. So do we make it 25.5 down the line, suggest, and they're still rejecting. Still rejecting. If I go up to 35.35, still rejecting. I think it's we can't sign these guys. They're just too expensive. Maxi Decampo. The backup option, I would guess. Compare him with, where is he? Felipe Passos. Defensively, Decampo's better. Everywhere else, Passos is better. I don't really want to compromise. That's the thing. If I'm going to try and get a player, I'd rather it be the best player and spend a lot more money on him. Because I feel like I'm compromising with Maxi Decampo. And it's the same sort of thing with the right winger as well. I feel like I'm compromising. Is he actually interested in signing for us? He is. 59 grand a week. It would be a lot of money. But he'd be our wing back for the rest of time, basically. £45 million release fee clause. How much can I go? Only 41. And that would leave us with no wage budget as well. So we can't even do that really, can we? Can we sell someone quickly? Sort it by value. Who do we not like or not like? How is Thad McRae, by the way, valued at 15 million? Fair play, lad. That is decent. He's wanted as well by Borussia Mönchengladbach. I'd rather keep Thad McRae. Also, forgot to mention to you guys, when we talk about release fee clauses, Cavalcanti, he's signed a new contract. He didn't want to get rid of a release fee clause, but it's now set to 45 million as opposed to 21 million. So happy with that. Caio Henrique just does not want to sign a new contract with us at the moment, which is upsetting. But Shaban, he had a release fee clause of £8 million. That's now gone because he's also signed a new contract. So new contracts for those guys, that's exciting. But back to sorting it by value. I mean, Jez Finley at 15 million. We've got some youngsters valued at an awful lot. I mean, how are they more than Tamat Lumper, who is arguably our best player? That surprises me a little bit. No, there's no one we can really sell. That's the thing. There's no one I really want to sell or sacrifice that's going to raise 15 million. So do we just like stick it out with Pavlik then? Is that what we do? We stick out with... what am I trying to look for here? Shortlist, there we go. Maybe we stick it out with Pavlik until we get more money in summer for this guy. Although there's just saying no interest there. I thought he said he was interested. Okay, so even if we did get the money, he might not join us. Do we instead focus on right wing for now? And again, it's kind of a... I want Paco Garcia or no one, really. Let's compare Paco Garcia and Ignacio. Compare with... where is he? Paco Garcia. They are quite similar. Although Paco Garcia is much better mentally in the air and technically and attacking-wise, whereas Ignacio is more of a physical, plays the ball through. Paco Garcia is the one that I want. Paco Garcia is the one that I want. So... he's got a release fee clause of, hang on, what is it? 64 million, which we cannot afford. So do we go 20 and 30? We can't even suggest, just make it. Let's do it. See, I just don't see the point in compromising. They are the players that I want, those two. I desperately want them both. They're too expensive for us right now and probably will be too expensive for us anyway. But we have to try. And of course, it has been rejected. What do we do? 20 million, 30 million. Percentage of profit from next sale. Let's put that to 25%, lock it in. You can have 25% of profit. But we're never going to sell them, so it's fine. I'm also... After I'd say after 50 league goals, but it might be, he might actually get 50 league goals. 10 million after 50 league goals? How many has Ben Knight got? If we look at Ben Knight, over the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he's got nowhere near 50 league goals. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Nowhere near 50 league goals. So actually, yeah, I'm fairly confident we can put 50 league goals down, an extra 10 million. After we win the Champions League, you can have another 5 million as well. So that is 65 million. Suggest. They're still rejecting it. We're just not going to get him, are we? We're just not going to get him. We'll try the same thing with the left back from Porto, Felipe Passos. Transfer, make an offer. So 20, let's put us up to 30, right? Up to 30. And then we also go percentage of profit from next sale, 25%. Lock that in. After, I tell you what we can also do here, because he's never going to score 50 league goals. After 50 league goals, you can have 50 million. And that might actually work, you know. Let's bring this down to like 15 and 50, because they might see that and think, wow, that's a great deal. 15 and 15. The board, our board might reject this. They might think, what if he does get 15 league goals? Let's lock that in. We can't suggest. Let's make an offer then. Please accept that. See, the board have now blocked this for us. The board have now blocked this for us. The max they could pay is 45.5 million, they're saying. Let's talk to the board and say, reconsider the decision, please. And they have said that we are delighted to... Okay, they are delighted to... Has that gone through, that transfer... yeah, that's gone through, that transfer offer. 15, 15 and 50. But he's never going to score 50 league goals. So bear that in mind when you think about the transfer price. On paper, it is 80 million. But we're never going to pay 50 million of it if this does come through. Although I do expect it to be rejected. I do expect it to fully be rejected. And yes, it has been rejected. As you may well expect. How about 20 up front? 30. 20 down the line, sorry. That's 90 million. Surely they can't... In fact, what we'll do as well, after international... He might actually get quite a few international appearances. After winning the Champions League, we'll give you a further 10 million. So that is 50 million pounds. Not 50, 100 million pounds we're offering here. Suggest. And they are still rejecting it. Right, well, it's never going to happen, is it? It's just not going to happen. So, what we do instead. Projection. I mean, the projection for the transfer budget is pretty low at 21 million. We should have more than that. Oh, why is this so difficult? It's so frustrating, this. I don't want to compromise on those two players. They are the players that I want to bring in, and they are very expensive, and even a £100 million bid is not getting them right now. The thing is, though, they do both have release fee clauses. What was it? 59... No, what was it? Pastos is 45.5, right? And then let's just get rid of this. What's he called? Paco Garcia. His is like 60, isn't it? 64. Now, I'd rather bring in the left back. I think the left back is better, if I'm honest with you. So I'd rather be bringing him in. So what I think is we hold on. We wait. Because I think we'll have £45 million in transfer budget next season. And we'll spend it all on him to trigger that release fee clause. That's what we'll do. In the meantime, I am going to go to war with Real Vallodalid. I'm going to go to war with them. And I'm going to declare interest as a top target for this guy. And I'm going to do this for the whole second half of the season. Where is it? Reports, get scout... No, assign a scout from the scouting pool for 4 matches. And I'm going to keep doing that until this guy wants to sign for us. That's what I'm going to try and do. So no players are going to be signed today, which is really frustrating. I was really looking forward to signing a left back and a right winger. But those guys are too expensive right now. But believe me, they will become Aberdeen players. I 100% promise you that. They will become Aberdeen players. And I'm not going to change the lineup for the Celtic game either, because I'm very happy with the team and how they played last game. And I want to see how it works against Celtic. I'm fired up now. You know, Porto and Valladolid get in the bin. Rejecting £100 million bids from us. They don't know what they're missing. They could have had £100 million from us. No, in summer, they're only going to get 45.5 million. I can't believe it. It's going to be like taking candy from a baby if you pay that baby 45.5 million pounds. But I'm riled up about that now. I'm so looking forward to just taking them both in summer. I don't really want to go to war in the media about the left back, because I feel if I do that, then other clubs will start to get a bit angsty, and they'll see that, and then they will try and sign him as well, because they'll see me talking about it all the time and they'll want to sign him. So I don't really want to talk about him too much in the media. I think he's the special one, essentially. As we've scored a goal, by the way. La Cruz gets a goal there from Tamatlumpa's cross. You love to see it. In the meantime, he might have just been sent off. Oh, La Cruz. No, don't get sent off, lad. That's not part... La Cruz is off. That's not great. Scores a goal and then gets sent off. Okay, what we do then is bring Cavalcanti up front and Shaban out wide. That's how that one's going to work. Luckily for us, though, we are 1-0 up, so we don't have to worry too much. Celtic have only had 2 shots compared to our 8 shots, even after a man sent off. So I'm feeling pretty confident still. We've got a pretty decent back line and centre mids in there. We can always drop our wingers back a little bit, but I don't really feel the need for a change just yet, as Pavlik's long throw is cleared by Tanganga. But Pavlik once again, come on lad, into Ben Knight, can't quite get it in there. Add Milson to Ferguson, out to Shaban. Shaban gets it out to Pavlik. It might have been cleared actually, but Pavlik into Ferguson, into Ben Knight, into Pavlik. Pavlik can't score, it goes out for a goal kick. Not bad going for us there at all, not bad. Hopefully we can just hold on until half time and then maybe we'll switch back to a slightly more defensive shape, but we've seen nothing yet from Celtic in this game. Absolutely nothing, so there's no point in changing just yet, as Ferguson into Shaban, Shaban to Cavalcanti, Cavalcanti into Tam Lumper, Ben Knight. How's he not scored? How's he not put that in the back of the net? Maybe the winger is more of a prep. Maybe we need to bring the winger in instead, because Ben Knight has just been not great in recent years. Maybe recent years is a bit harsh. He's not been great this season. He's sort of dropped off a little bit this season. Jan Cavalcanti is through though and scores a goal. You love to see it. Just a hoof. The highlight is very quick there. A hoof from the defence up to Cavalcanti. You'll see it on the replay here because I didn't start talking until I saw the hoof come through. Just quickly, a very big hoof. Cavalcanti's there and he scores a great goal. So 2-0 to us. 10-man overpoweredness is a real thing again. So this is much more like it. We lost to Celtic earlier on in the season off camera, I think it was. And it wasn't a great game, to be fair. We were outplayed. But today we are outplaying Celtic massively. And come on, lads. Let's get a third goal as Ben Knight, with so much space and room to run. Score as well. That'd be nice. Oh. I'm not entirely sure how that's happened. We've just won a penalty. It just flashed up. There wasn't a highlight before that. I don't know how we won that penalty. Ferguson just popped up with a penalty. I don't know how we there was no highlight with any foul at all. I mean, we'll take it though. This is turning out to be a fantastic result right now, and we will make some changes. Ben Knight, the only player not to be playing well right now. Let's get him off for Robert Didow. No, Thad McRae needs to come on the pitch this time, I think. Shaban having a poor, well, I say a poor game. He's not in the best of games on the left-hand side. He's not really a left winger, to be fair. Jez Findlay on you come instead, and Torres are going to come off for Brian Portier again. And Jez Findlay now on the ball. Can he provide some pace and energy down the left-hand side? But it looks like it right now as he cuts inside. Pass one into Ferguson. It's a very, very poor pass, actually, Jez, in the end. Portier on the ball into Thad McRae. Thad McRae to put a ball in the middle, and it's cleared by the defenders. For how long, though? For maybe quite long. Caio Enrique wins the ball back for us, though. Fuan Talbot at the back. Hoofs it up to Tam McLumper into Ferguson. Ferguson to Thad McRae. Thad McRae with another chance now to put a ball in the middle or take it on himself. A penalty. Okay, we did see that one. We saw that penalty that time. Upsets Ferguson for another one. This time saved. Also, just realised, depending on how much editing I'm going to do, today's episode is going to be a long one. So if you like long episodes, you're welcome. Although, maybe you only like long episodes when we actually sign players. Today has been a little bit frustrating. We could have signed some other players, but I think you guys will be with me. We don't want to be signing subprime players. Once we've seen someone that we can get who is expensive, but they're a lot better, we need to grab them. We need to take an opportunity to get them. And I think they're worth the money. It's going to cost us a lot to get those two players in. But I think you'll agree with me, it's worth it. I think you'll agree that we should be going for those guys. I mean, right now, we're top of the league. We're beating Celtic 3-0. We're in the Champions League still. Like, there's nothing too much to worry about, as Ferguson could have had a hat-trick today if he scored his other penalty. Great free kick for him there. I don't think there's much to worry about this season at the moment. Look, we're doing well, but those two signings could take us to the next level more so than other players. We're already at the top of our game in Scotland and very near the top of things in the Champions League, to be fair. You've seen how good we played so far this season in the Champions League. We know we finished ahead of... We knocked Real Madrid out of the group stages, essentially. That's what we did, right? So we're good. We're very good. to really improve, we have to be signing the very best players and producing the very best players as well, like Thad McRae. Great goal for him there. We need to sign those 2 players. I'd rather sign those 2 than spend half the money on other players, I think. So hopefully you agree with me. If you don't, I'm sorry. But it's my save, and what I say goes. Unless, of course, yeah, you guys say better things in the comment section, and then I always take on board what you guys say, like making Cavalcanti and Thad McRae attacking midfielders. Either way, a very nice win there. La Cruz is banned for 1 game, but that will be banned for a couple games, I think, because he was straight red card, wasn't he? So La Cruz missing for a few games. He will be back, though, for next episode as we take on Atletico Madrid and Atletico Madrid in the Champions League first knockout round. They wanted to go through all of the Spanish teams right now. It's a very difficult draw for us against Atletico, but not quite as difficult as Celtic's draw against Bayern Munich. Hopefully Celtic get through that one and get the win. Obviously, all our teams were knocked out of the Europa League, so nothing to really focus on in this one, but we do need to try and make sure that Benfica, Sporting, PSV and RZ all lose, because that's obviously not great for us. I didn't realise Sporting and Benfica were... I feel like I've missed them from somewhere. I don't know. Either way, there's 2 Portuguese and 2 Dutch teams in there. And then in the Europa Conference League, I forgot to even mention it at the very end of yesterday or the other day's episode. Hibs got through their group. They've got Panathinaikos there in the Europa Conference League, whereas Rangers have CSK Sofia. I'm expecting Rangers to win this competition. A quick look as well at the Nation Club coefficients. Currently, we're on 53.3 points. The Dutch are on 53.2. That's big. If we can stay ahead of the Dutch, then we will go into 6th place next season and get 3 Champions League places. That is what we need to do. That is huge. So what we need to do is make sure we beat Atletico and hopefully Celtic beat Bayern Munich somehow. That's the way we're going to stay ahead of the Dutch. So thank you ever so much for watching today's episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And of course, if you have done, make sure you do drop a like on today's video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I will see you next time. Have a good one. Goodbye.